Hail Swabbies, it's your Cappy, and I've got some news for you. Final Fantasy VII Remake is not the game you think it is. Alright, so Final Fantasy VII was my first real introduction to RPGs, and still stands as the most personally defining game for me. I eagerly look forward to the day that a game can make me feel the feels that Final Fantasy VII made me feel. So it comes as no surprise that I was thoroughly blown away when the FF7 Remake was announced at E3, and I have been happily riding the hype train ever since. Now, maybe I run in the wrong circles, but I've seen little to no discussion on what we're going to get with this game, and no analysis at all on the trailer. I mean, we've been yelling for a remake for a decade, and now that we've got this announcement, no one's really talking about it. So without further ado, I'm going to talk about it. Now, from what we've seen so far, I suspect that FF7 Remake isn't so much a remake in the traditional sense, but it's going to be a retelling from some future standpoint a la Dragon Age 2. This is a good move because any inconsistencies between the originals and the remake can be explained by whoever telling the story not really knowing all of the details. Now, why might they be retelling the story instead of just giving us the remake we've been asking for? Simple. They're going for a sequel. I think the reason Squeenix is finally giving us our remake is so they can start dishing out sequels. This could be a good or bad thing depending on how you felt about Crisis Core and Dirge of Cerberus. For the record, I loved them both. Also, and as well, we have that nasty loose thread Genesis that needs to be tied up. So more and more it seems that I'm the only person who generally enjoyed Dirge of Cerberus, so most of you likely never made it through to the end of the game, and if you did, you probably didn't get the secret ending sequence. As you can see here in said secret ending sequence, Genesis is not dead. Not only is he not dead, he seems to be doing pretty well for himself with his little winglings and flying away and stuff. So basically I'm making some pretty big claims here. Genesis is going to be back in the game. Is the game really set in the future? You guys want some proof? First, here we have some small child creatures playing swords as small child creatures do. However, it looks a lot like they're playing a rousing game of Cloud and Sephiroth. The Buster Sword is unique. We know that from Crisis Core. It's highly unlikely that these kids are playing with a mock Buster Sword before the events of Final Fantasy VII, or Advent Children for that matter. The voiceover from the trailer is clearly intended to break the fourth wall and talk about fan expectations, but I think that it would be kind of silly to assume that it doesn't serve double duty as an actual narrative for the game. Said voiceover is discussing the events of the game in the past tense and discusses a reunion. Now, if it were me, I'd have to say this is probably going to be another one of those Genova family reunions. Last, this is pretty circumstantial, but I think we should take a look at these fellows here. They bear slight resemblance to the Shinra soldiers. Not Shinra soldier, but the grunt soldiers, but without the third little goggly eye guy. I'm wondering if they're mayhaps a remnant force of some kind. I suppose it's possible that this could be like a super mega flashback, and this is a precursor to the standard Shinra soldier, but I actually kind of suspect that this might be the progression of whatever's left of Shinra. Shinra! Is that anything like Mumra? Now, I've already established that Dirge of Cerberus leaves Genesis as a loose thread. I'd also like to point out this shot, however. While the initial reaction is the symbolism of Aerith and Sephiroth, I'd like to contend that that feather is in fact symbolizing Genesis. The red glow off-screen is our tip-off. The closest Sephiroth ever gets to a red glow is burning down Nibelheim, am I right? Too soon? Now, Genesis is arguably as, if not more, powerful than Sephiroth. So if he's really back, this could be really interesting. Alright, so there you have it. I believe that we have a future-based retelling lining the whole series up for a sequel in which Cloud has a conflict with Genesis. Also less substantial, but I kind of wonder if that shot with the flower and the feather means that maybe there's some type of conflict between Aerith and Genesis. Genesis probably has a pretty strong tie to the life stream like we know that Sephiroth does, so I kind of wonder if there's something going on there. Also, in the scene with the kids fighting, they all stop playing because there's a giant green glow. We know that green typically is life stream, so there's some open questions there. What's going on? That's clearly not part of Final Fantasy VII, so it leads us to, kind of ask some questions and think that there's going to be more beyond what we're expecting. Alright guys, so if you enjoyed this round of theorizing, go ahead and subscribe if you want to continue watching my videos. But go ahead and give this a share. Like I said, I haven't seen anybody really talking about this trailer beyond, here's a Final Fantasy VII Remake. So go ahead and give this a share. Let's see if we can drum up some conversation and start theorizing about our game. Like I said, we've been waiting like a decade plus for this. Let's take advantage of it. Let's have some fun, guys. So, see you later. No rest for the wicked.